I think
right.
this background's my favorite, just because it's
Just
Keem
because it's
yelling.
Keem yelling.
That dude.
Isn't that the isn't it the hard R one?
I have no idea. It's
Isn't
just
that?
my favorite
That's
because
the
it's great, because it almost gives the impression that Keem is here when I leave.
The hard R one was when he had the sunglasses on.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
It's almost like he's here.
What's up, King?
Yeah, the hate is real. I can hear that gif.
There's just some gifts that you can always hear.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Another freaking 2 points. Fuck off, bro. That's man,
Bro, you lost your money. Stop paying attention.
No, I got money. I got like a small amount of it back because I was instead a little bit of thing. If you the difference between like the difference between like a single pick and then like only a parlay. Yeah, okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, basically depending on what you do, if you pick like a bet, you can either do like safe betting, which is where you do single picks and then they multiply into one big bet, and you can place a bet on the big bet, like the big multiplier, and also the small bets. And so that way, even if you don't get the big multiplier, you can still get the small single bets. Because yeah, you leave with something. Because in order to get the big one, all the things that you clicked on have to win. Yeah, you have to, yeah. So I'm still making some money, but I'm like, dude, again, I repeat, a freaking like 2-9 team is putting up 32 points right now, man.
The parlays are like a multiplier. If you get it goes up as many as you add. So like if you have 2, you get like a 2 times, 3 times. Like you have to hit all of them. You have to hit all.
It goes off. It doesn't go off of how many you put in. It goes off of the
total
odds.
Total odds.
Yeah, so like if you have a minus 100 and then you have like a plus 102, it'll probably be it's like, what is it? I think it's like the difference and then times a half or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless, sometimes you
lots of money at some point.
Yeah, but it's just like I took this weekend to enjoy some time and throw some money around, man. And I lost like by just the smallest thing, right? Like I had like a $8,000 bet that I lost because it went under. I had a couple of those went under, but it went under because they tied in the third quarter. So they weren't. So my team that eventually won.
That one fucked you. That one completely fucked you.
Yeah, because
completely fucked you.
If they hadn't have scored the extra point, let's say they went for the 2-point conversion, or my team got the 3, like I would have totally had that because my team ended up winning. So had they just not scored in the third quarter, had the other guys just not scored in the third quarter, score in the fourth, I don't care. But like, because
instead of that every quarter bet, you had like the money line bet where it's just like the team win or that half win.
Yeah,
it would have been, you would have had it, but instead it was an every quarter win, and there was that one tie.
Well, that's the bitch though. Like especially like whenever I bet basketball, the 0.5, bro, the 0.5 fucks you every single time.
Well, it's also the other thing too is like some bets when you place them down, it's like if depending on the sport, but obviously we're talking about football, is like some of them are big multipliers, but it's like it has to not happen like the first quarter. Like there's a pretty good multiplier. It's like always plus 120 to like 220 or something like that, which is a field goal every quarter, and it's like no or yes, a yes, because field goal attempts are almost every single quarter, right? So if you put a no and you don't get a field goal first quarter, you're good. You don't have to. You don't care. They could score all they could score all field goals for the next 3 quarters. But it's like I had that one up, right? And I also had in what helped the multiplier was to score points every quarter, but not score field goals every quarter. So they scored a field goal every freaking quarter to the third quarter. Yeah. So I'm like, Well, now I'm at my points maximum. If they score a touchdown, I lose. And if they score a field goal, I lose. Guess what? They didn't end up scoring at all. So, no, but they got zeroed out in the fourth quarter, both teams. And I'm just like, what is happening, dude? Oh my God.
So with basketball,
you make a bet and things go up and upside down.
I know.
With basketball, you have to bet the role players because star players are star players, right? They're gonna produce, right? Some of them they don't. But on as far as betting goes, like you have to bet on the role players. That's where you make your money. And you can get like, let's say like 5 or 6 superstars. One of them is not going to produce on a parlay. It's just not going to happen. But if you get like 2 or 3 superstars and then you get like 2 role players, you just pick the right 2 role players, you can make some serious fucking money. The problem
you want to know the irony of that? DraftKings does that automatically, and it picks the role or the star player, the quarterback, and it says this person, and then you have the ability to put. You can do rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns, and all that. It picked the quarterback for his team, and that motherfucker literally just like did like no passing touchdowns. He just did like none. For like 3/4 of the game, he just had 13 passing touchdown yards, and it's like I'm like watching that ticker not move. I'm just like, motherfucker, what are you doing?
Here's the thing on parlays that the company or the house picks, they pick it in their favor to where when you look at it at first glance, it looks amazing. But if you pay attention, do your research, you see like, there's 1 or 2 that's kind of iffy because they're not just
there's always going to be one. Yeah.
They're not going to throw you something where if you bet $100, you're going to win like $10,000. They're not just going to throw that to anybody.
Without something that can very easily twist. Yeah. Or
gotta have that off chance, like 1 out of 10 games. Like,
like one of my big multipliers was a +3 touchdown. So I needed 3 touchdowns. And I'm like, okay, it's the Chiefs versus the Raiders, man. A 10-0 team or a 10-1 team versus like a 3-7 or a 3-8 team, and it's the Raiders. Like, it's it's Patrick Mahomes. Then Patrick Mahomes decides, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna screw around in the third quarter, give him multiple freaking turnovers and shit, or multiple punts, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Here's where the NBA differs, especially like in the fourth quarter, right? Like, let's say you have 2 teams. I'm just gonna say like the Wizards and the Warriors, right? Warriors, a very good team. Wizards are not a playoff team. So let's say Curry. Let's say he scores 30 points or whatever, and the bet is for like 33 or 34 points. If they're up by so much, they're pulling Curry out of the game for the rest of the game because they don't want their star player on the floor because if he gets hurt, they're done. So they're going to pull him when they think he's going to be good. So he could be on the streak. But if they're up by like 20 points and there's like 8 minutes left in the game, they're probably going to pull him out for a little bit.
Put him in the back pocket just in case.
Exactly. And then, if for some odd reason they come back, they need to go back in, then you're probably going to be good. But, normally the way it works is whenever the losing team pulls their starters out, the good sportsmanship is the winning team also pulls their starters out. And they just let garbage time happen, right? It's like a good sportsmanship, like coaches' gentleman's agreement that this is how they're going to do it.
I get what you're saying. I'd like to note that in like the last 5 minutes, the Broncos have put up another 10 points. Fucking
nice. So they blew past the bottom line.
They blew up by so much. They blew up by so much. And it's like, I did not. I'm going to be honest. Like, even though I lost most of my bets on this game is good. Like, this game has been good. Like, the whole reason why football has been, and the whole reason why, like, I don't really watch football. Like, I'll watch boxing and UFC stuff almost all the time, right? Like, I love it. Football, I can understand, but it's like I never gave a shit about a team enough to be like, oh yeah, let me go follow them around the world, But
football fan, bro. Like, I understand football. I know how it works. I understand all this. I'm not a football fan. I'm an NBA guy.
But at least like betting on the game makes it way more entertaining, like way more fun. But this game, it wasn't supposed to be this good. Like, it literally wasn't. It was supposed to be a domination, man.
It's literally Monday Night Football. It's like it's not meant. It's literally like okay, Paramount Plus. Like I tried to look this game up because I was like, oh, I'll tune in, watch it, see how good or how bad it's going, you know. And I look it up on Paramount Plus. It's not even on there. It's not even on under NFL right now because it's a Monday night, just like play. It's like I don't know what it is. It's
bullshit game.
Yeah, it's an alternate or something where it's not nearly as important, but you can.
But it is good though. It's great. It's like 32-41. They literally had they almost had like back-to-backs and on turnovers. I think the Broncos, I think what was it? I think they either got the bomb off of a turnover for a touchdown, and then like a couple of plays later, the freaking Browns, or no, then the following quarter, the Browns did the same thing. Like it's been good, dude. And there's been picks, there's been interceptions, there's been multiple sacks throughout the game. There's been like 10 fouls called in the last freaking, or not fouls, but flags called in the last half. It's been a good game.
That's the other thing, right? So like as the season winding down, just like in like basketball, right? Like if you're a playoff team going up against a non-playoff team, like the playoff team, they're not going to try their hardest because they don't want to like go crazy because they got
they don't want to hurt nobody.
But the thing is once it gets closer and closer to the season, there'll be times where like there'll be like 1 or 2 games splitting your seeding. So like say if it's like the last game of the season and like say if you win this game, like you go up against a worse seed, or if you lose the game, you go up against a better seed in the playoffs. That's when shit gets crazy. So it's always funny to pay attention to like playoff teams towards the end, especially when the schedules are so tight.
Yeah,
well, that's how the CDL. That's how the CDL does. Like, so the CDL is the Call of Duty League. They do the same thing. They split their seeding up, and when they're in the champs, pretty much anybody can have. I think there's only 2 teams that aren't allowed to compete in the full champs, but it's split by like it's a bracket, and then there's a loser bracket. It's a very easy. Like you could have a losing team come up from the losing bracket and still take champs. Like it's still very interesting and very. You still got to pay attention to that bracket because if you don't pay attention to that losing team, because they might come up and haunt you.
All I know is it's way more secure and way easier to bet on on freaking combat sports, man. It's way easier. I don't even care, but I almost got completely fucked too. So I'm freaking, dude. I literally bet on a championship Eastern European lightweight division match, right? Okay, a title match. And we're talking like these are like $125s, $150 dudes, right? Okay, and my and they're freaking like Irish and British, and you know, so my bet was that it was gonna that the overcard, the guy whose bets or whose odds was to win was gonna win, and that the freaking fight was gonna go the distance, which was 10 rounds. Which, if you don't know anything about like non-American lightweight or flyweight divisions, there's just no oomph in it. Like even in the American flyweight, you don't really see knockouts a whole lot. In the lightweight division, you can see some killers and some middleweights and all that. But I had literally just watched. So the boxing match was like 6 hours long. I had literally just watched 2 previous matches where these dudes duke it out for like 8 to 10 rounds back and forth, right? The championship match, the dude gets a cut under the guy I bet on gets a cut under his eye in the 4th round, dude. And I'm like, what is this, bro? I'm like, I'm cursed.
The same thing happened to Serraro in the fucking Mike Tyson fight. Yeah. You guys, both of you were like, "Oh, Serraro's got this." Both of you were like, "Serraro's got this," and I said that cut's gonna come back to Hunter. That's gonna take one punch and it's gonna turn into a gash. Ooh. What happened? Literally within 2 minutes of me saying that, boom! Yeah. It's a gash. He's leaking all over the place. It was done.
He got hard. You can't take that away from her.
Oh yeah.
No, absolutely not, dude. She fought with that gash. She fought with it. She didn't stop. She did not slow down at all.
Dudes that wouldn't have done that.
Well, the thing is, dude, like when you've taken so many punches to the head, like Ken, I'm sure you remember from like wrestling and everything, or like being in the army and having to like do obstacles, running, getting hit in the head. Like your head gets like heated, like really really hot. That like even it does you don't feel anything. Like when if you're cut, if you're leaking, you don't feel it. Like your head is just like numb. So when you've been punched in the face over and over for multiple rounds and it just blows up like that, I guarantee she was like she could feel it probably hanging, but probably wasn't feeling any pain or anything like that.
Yeah.
Got all that adrenaline
that
up
was
in
the
her.
same way with me. This eye right here, for me, Christmas Eve, like 2-3 years ago at this point, my son was just born. So yeah, he's 4. So yeah, 3 years ago. That Christmas Eve, I tripped over just like the smallest thing, slammed my head into the back of a stainless steel bumper on a truck. Ripped my eyebrow pretty much clean off. It's hanging. It's by the grace of God that I didn't get knocked out for more than like a split second, because I immediately like did when you get hit in the head, you do that reach, I'm like,
oh yeah,
it wasn't skin no more. It was
meat.
It was not nice. Yeah. To say the better of lack of terms. So I immediately got up. You do that. It was cold, so I roll over. I feel that warmth. You know that moment where you're like, oh shit.
I do.
I ran inside. And I scared half the people in that house. But dude, I said, you guys gotta help me. You gotta help me. It's coming down.
Bro, real quick, the Browns got it to like I don't know, like 5 and goal. Like they were like 5 and goal. We're at like 50 seconds in the fourth quarter. They threw a freaking touchdown interception, or not a touchdown interception. They threw an interception in the field in the end zone, and the freaking Broncos ran it back to the 40. They had holy Jesus. It's been a good
Broncos are fighting. They said, hey, that guy, he bet on us to score low. We're going to score high tonight, boys.
Yeah, bro. Pretty much, dude.
It's funny.
If they could score in the next freaking, they just need it. Okay, cool. Dude, it is crazy. Like, this game shit was not supposed to be as good as it has been, dude. But anyways, getting back to the dude, like, they make it through, right? And I end up winning, right? I think I bet like, what was it, 75, made like 92 or something total. Because again, I was going for this super, super secure bet to start like recuperating a little bit of money. And then that happened. So I'm annoyed.
The telltale of a gambling addict is if they know they're going to lose their big bet, they start betting like third and fourth quarter shit. And then like if you go on like the live betting, they'll have like live bets, like like if someone inbounds the ball, like, hey, yes or no, whoever inbounds the ball, will they score on this possession? Yes or no?
Oh, dude.
And this like, constantly going, right? And there's the people that bet on that. I'm like, yo, you got problems.
Nah, dude. Okay. I was even talking to Zeph. I was like, dude, I would love to. I don't normally give a damn about the Super Bowl, but I would absolutely fly out to a state that allows betting just to watch the Super Bowl. Because dude, to watch the Super Bowl and bet on it, like, because betting down by down or drive by drive or play by play would be so much easier to make money. Because like the way it is,
you're right. But the thing is, it goes so quick though, you don't have time to think.
But I do. Dude, that's the thing. No, you have no idea.
You look at the odds; they're constantly changing. Yeah. And with the way DraftKings works, is you have to accept the odds before you place the bet. So like every time that there's a specific bet you want to place, it's just cha-ching, cha-ching, and like some of them become suspended, some of them get completely wiped out, some of them got to be accepted. It's like when you want to place that bet, you better have it locked in. It's
the thing. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though, is that like, because I don't have the ability to just immediately hit accept plays, because I'll literally be watching, and as soon as the downs like between plays, like that 5 to 10 seconds between plays, I typically already have like my my idea of what the next play is going to be, right? Like after, depending on the yardage, obviously is going to tell you what their next, whether it's a run or a pass typically. So I already have that locked and loaded, or I'm looking through it and I could easily, hit the button because I'm like, yeah, that's me, but I can't do that right now.
We all lost money on Mike Tyson. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
let's
we
be
did.
honest.
Well, my bet did not go
Everybody.
through. My bet did not go through.
Oh man, yeah. I'm so mad. I had a whole bunch of like freebie bets, and I wish I would have just done it. Everybody thought like it's. I don't know, man.
That was the problem. Betting on nostalgia.
No, I don't know, man, because there was that punch that rocked him, dude. There was that punch that absolutely rocked him.
There's the hug, dude. I didn't get to see the hug because my shit was just like not working, and it was a mess.
Oh, yeah, Netflix, yeah.
There was a punch hug where like you could see Jake Paul kind of like whisper in his ear almost, like just kind of like talking to him a little bit.
You're
like,
one of the
it's overextended, and it's like, why is this so long? And then afterwards, Mike Tyson starts acting like he's gassed out already, and I'm like, it's kind of weird. I'm not saying like he threw it.
I mean, let's be honest.
Side note, did you know there's a class action lawsuit against Netflix?
I was literally just about I was going to bring that up.
Florida.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So, no, what I was going to say is that, I mean, I honestly could have. So it's like you have to think about it. Somebody like Mike Tyson, why would he throw it at the end of his career for what? Money? He has money.
A bag. Yeah.
But he has money. He has a bag. He doesn't have to do it.
$20 million plus like pay-per-view shit.
It's a lot of money, but he's got money, dude. I guarantee you.
He's like, look, Mike, you're 60 years old. No one is gonna bat an eye whether you lose or not because you're old.
Exactly. But I don't think any different of him for losing. That's the thing.
Bro, if you lose or win, no one's gonna care. Jake Paul's gonna get heat no matter what. Nothing's gonna happen to you because you're the older man here. Take this 20 mil plus. Just let him
give it
win.
To your grandkids, give it to your family, like let it ride, bro.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
I don't even if it comes out in like 20 years and saying he's on his deathbed, he's like, yeah, through the Jake Paul fight, and I'm be like, all right, cool, like good for you. You made your bag and you ran with it.
Here's the thing. What makes me turn around and be like, okay, I could kind of understand it is because he had that health scare in the beginning. Yeah. Right. If he was getting closer and closer to the fight and was realizing, oh, well, I'm not where I should be, like, I'm just going to go ahead and like play it safe. But even then, man, I mean, he didn't even throw any punches or nothing.
Here's the thing, bro. All he had to do was walk in, right? Health scares, no matter, he had to step in and the bell ring for the first round. And he
yeah, I know that. But even so, I'm still like, but you don't win. You don't win, like you win people's props, like, oh yeah, congrats, Mike, still fighting at that age, kinda,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's crazy though. The thing that gets me is like, I think the fight would have looked so much better in person, not just because Netflix was fucking up, but like genuinely, people who were recording ringside and you could view the punches. Those punches looked like they would fucking rock, dude.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, but on the screen they look like marshmallows. They look like they were just tapping each other like tee. Like you could hear the teddy bear sound coming off of them. But when you look at the ringside view, it looks like they're fucking trying to kill each other.
Well, that's really any sporting event in person. Like when I go see like basketball games in person, it's a lot different.
I mean, the only time it's worse is when it's like music.
Yeah, true. The problem is though, like with sports, is like these stadiums are so big and like they really want you to go and like experience a sport in person. But like you get to a point where like, okay, you got fair price tickets for a fair seat, but really that fair seat's almost half a mile back.
Yeah, that's
like you're looking down on a small court. Exactly. And what are you doing half the time? You're watching the screen that's showing you the play-by-play.
And see, that's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand about that thing. It's the same thing as like going to the Super Bowl or whatever. It's like, congrats, you're like 200 feet in the air and also like a mile back. You can't. So what are you seeing? Or like if it's.
You're there for the experience. That's really all it is.
You're there for the camaraderie and the crowd and the roar and like the popcorn. Like you're there for the experience, kind of like a movie. Like a movie's. You can go home and experience
a movie at home is way better than a movie in theaters, bro.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, you can have a blankie. You can have your soda.
I can hit the pause button.
Exactly.
I can go take a piss, but I'm not spending money.
Shit.
Well, I mean, I am spending money,
Exactly.
but like, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's so dumb. But you know, it's funny because I was watching the like I had been talking about the McMahon documentary, and I was watching.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, we sold out like Madison Square Garden or whatever," and they're like, "Yeah, like it seats 93,000," and I'm just like, they had the pull out view where they like had the camera right there at the ring, and then they moved the camera out to show you like how wide this like fucking dome or whatever is, and I'm just like.
Mhm.
What are you looking at? Like, what are you seeing? They have to look like little action figures down there. Like you're paying like $100+ for this, bro.
So,
hardcore fans. That's all it is, bro.
dude, so in my state, Illinois, we have a state fair, and it gets some pretty notable like artists throughout the years. I think last year we had Tim McGraw, which is like one of the only few ones that I actually want to go see because that's old style country. Is like you'll get me, but the seating isn't really seating; it's standing. You're paying for like a section to stand.
Almost like
Yeah, yeah. In St. Louis, which is another 3 hours from me, 90% of the seating or 90% of the tickets that are sold are lawn seats. You pay it's cheap. You pay $27 and some odd cents, and then you pay like $50 for like a group of people, but you're sitting on lawn and you're sitting far back. You're looking at a screen that's even further away, and you're just there to listen to the music. Then there's some seats up front, but our state fair, I don't know why, but like there's no seats. There's no seats.
Of all the stupid things I did in the military, paying to stand is never one of them. I got paid to stand around a lot, though. I got paid to stand around a lot, but I sure as hell didn't. Yeah, no, I don't understand.
My fiance this year she wants to go. Megan Maroney is going to be at our state fair, and she wants to go. And in my head, I'm like, we'll see about that. I don't know if you're gonna really like it because the seating situation is not very good. But her tickets immediately sold out, so we'll see.
I don't know. I don't understand because it's like one of those. I've never understood it. I've never liked it. Like same with Disneyland or like any amusement park, dude. I can't stand crowds and all these bitches around me and shit. I'm just like, dude, fuck off, go away, leave me alone. Because it's like it stems from like being a kid and being like, I want to leave, but I can't. So it's like, so it's the same deal.
Bro, when you're married, it's the same thing.
I have this newfound anxiety. I have a newfound anxiety. I kind of realized I had this thought process the other day when I was out Black Friday shopping, and there was a couple cars that kept doing like circles around the parking lot because we were standing in line because it was Target, and I don't know why they were doing circles around the parking lot, but it made me feel really nervous.
Motherfuckers busting donuts out at your local freaking Walmart, bro.
No, they were doing like a circle around.
They were casing the joint.
As a whole. Exactly, that's what it felt like. It felt like they were like scoping it out and getting ready to do something. I'm like, if they were literally to just like pull out like a weapon or something like that and just like fire into this line of people, I have nothing. There's no cover here. I started having like anxiety. And I'm just like thinking, like, what would I do in this situation? I don't have anything right now.
You know, there are some instances where it's like, you I'm sure you've heard things that's like, what's not illegal but sounds illegal or feels illegal, like walking into a store and not buying anything and just walking out, right?
Yeah. Or walking in a store with a hood up.
Yeah, or with a backpack and stuff like that. So you're talking about that, right? You're talking about like somebody just being able to do that and that gives you anxiety. It's like sometimes I'll be watching like a movie or something and the bad guy will be like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing to kill all these people. And there are times where I just look and I'm like, that's a really inefficient way to murder, like mass murder. Like you could do it so much easier in this other way.
Listen, I'll stop you right there. You're saying the quiet parts out loud. You're saying the part you're not supposed to say.
Dude, there are times I'm traveling down the freaking freeway and it is bumper to bumper traffic. And I'm like, if somebody wants another like 9/11 or something, is if you ever got into like 3-lane bumper to bumper traffic, all you need is like 3 SUV sized cars, open up the hatch and just have a freaking gun and mow it down, because where are they gonna go? They can't reverse, they can't go anywhere. You could literally just pull out.
I feel like that's kind of everybody, like when they're watching like the serial killer movies where it's kind of like more focused on the serial killer, like the ones that make you root for the bad guy. Like,
oh no, see, this is I was thinking.
And I would
this
wear
stuff
gloves, and I would use this kind of knife.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm
I feel
thinking
like
about this shit driving home. But no. I mean, yeah, there are some obviously.
Well, I think about like, how could my car crash while I'm going 70 miles per hour right now? Like, what could happen? Could a tire just come out of nowhere, like that one video where that poor SUV just like somehow just it just fucking crashes, and I'm just like, that's awful.
Bro, that's great.
You're just driving 75 miles down the hour. You got your kids screaming in the back. Next thing you know, you're upside down and you are flying through the air. Fuck that.
Hey, bro, I mean, good thing once you like get right side up, you might not have two problems anymore.
That's awful. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
There's been times where I'll be like in a store and I'll see a dude that just pisses me off. I'm like, what would he do?
What would he do? Yeah, bro. I think it really just depends on like how you grew up, because there are times where I'll be like, I'll go to a convenience store and we all have prejudices, let's not even pretend, right? And somebody will come in and I'll just look at him and I'll be like, all right, let me just have my Red Bull. Let me just grab my Red Bull can like this real quick and have it hanging like that, like at the end. So if anything needs to, I can immediately just, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, dude. Like you,
exactly what you're thinking about.
Come on, every dude has that. If a bear broke into my house, like they think I could do this, so that I would do that.
I know where I could find my bat right now if somebody broke in. It's not a very good bat. It's aluminum, but it'll do the job.
It'll stop somebody at least.
Exactly.
It won't stop a bear.
You know how like there's like round base zombies?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What if you're in a situation where it was 10-year-old kids instead of zombies?
Oh,
how
easy.
many rounds you survive? How many rounds do you think you could survive?
A better question is, how many rounds could they survive?
No, like I'm saying, it's like infinite, right? And the only goal is like take them off their feet. How many rounds until you're tired out and done? Like 10-year-olds, bro.
Wait, are we fighting them? Are we shooting them? What's going on?
We're fighting the 10-year-olds.
Hand to hand. I think it would have either it would break my psyche and I would just keep going no matter what, or it would break me and I would just let them kill me. It's one or the other, because you can only snap so many toddlers' necks before you're like, I can't do this anymore.
Damn, I'm about to punch the shit. It's 10-year-old kid, right? And
I punch him, they're 10, just like ring them like a chicken, bro. Just like a freaking
energy, bro. That's the problem.
But yeah, so that you're conserving energy, just snapping it like you start punching them.
I feel like we're getting way too the details.
I mean, you can literally just grab them both by like. No. These kids gotta learn. You can literally just grab them by the ankles and start like slapping them back and forth on the walls. Just like
just do the Hulk, just where you grab by the ankle, just like bam.
Or grab one by the ankles, use it as like a fucking bat and just swing and hit the other one.
See, and here's the other thing. If we're in a 2-story house, just go to the attic and kick those midgets off one by one. Just bam. Like, what are they gonna do? Build a ladder up?
My wife was watching TikTok and that shit. These two dudes were talking about it. That shit was hilarious. That shit was funny.
Because there is the question is like, would you rather fight one horse-sized chicken or like 9 chicken-sized horses or something like that? Yeah, there's those
9 chicken-sized horses easily.
Oh yeah, they're way easier to kill.
Plus, one chicken-sized horse. It depends on what weaponry
I have. A little bit.
Like that. That's a big ass chicken. That's like when you think about that. That's
bear, fuck it.
You're gonna do what to a bear?
Wrestle a bear, fuck it. That wrestle a bear, fuck it.
You're gonna wrestle yourself?
No, wrestle a bear. Like some hacksaw Jim Duggan.
They call me a bear in certain communities.
Ain't no community I'm a part of.
I was hoping you'd get the reference. You've said that before.
Man. Not in any communities I'm a part of.
Oh yeah.
Going back to that prejudice thing, like when you're in a gas station, like ironically we got off topic.
The owners, I know, right? They might blow us up at any time. I get it. No,
no, like it's not like prejudice, but like you just see these little things and you like, whether it be your prejudice or like you've seen something like it happen before, like everybody like has that, like not necessarily fight or flight, but like this
It's instinct.
Think
Dude.
ahead.
It's like you're
instinct. Yeah,
it's instinct,
like,
but it's
what if shit does go sideways? Not saying that they will, but what if this guy does this thing? What if this guy does that thing? You know,
you do
it's
give.
I feel like that's inherently normal. I feel like
Yeah, most people.
if you're not doing that when you're in a store, especially whether it be shady or normal, like if you're not doing something like that, like you're not using your whole brain here. Like you got to look around.
Well, there's some people have no what's the word?
Spatial awareness.
Yeah, there's some people have no spatial awareness or any self-preservation, and then some people are just that stupid. But speaking of,
just worried about their phones. They're just fucking in their own little world.
Oh yeah, there's no special. Yeah, that's no non-spatial awareness. But speaking of prejudice, dude, I swear to God, I got so annoyed. So I remember I told you guys about how I have jury duty and shit. Now that it's over, I can fucking talk about this because I'm not getting paid. Right? This isn't a fucking paid interview or anything. So fuck you, law. So we start throughout jury selection, and they're asking like all these super basic questions, right? And then they get to like the questions that are more indicative of what the is going to be within the actual like trial, right? Because they have to ask like, would you be would you have any bias towards people with tattoos on their face? And it's like, okay, somebody in this trial has tattoos on their face. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
you can pick it together.
Yeah. So they asked a couple of questions and they were like, oh, okay, would you have any bias to anybody's like religious, ethnic beliefs, et cetera, et cetera? It's like, no. Would you have any, would you find like offensive people's tattoos? And everybody obviously on the jury said no, that made it to the jury. Anyways, so all of these different things where they're like, oh, do you have any of these biases? And everybody who is in deliberation said no to them, right? We get to deliberations. It's the charge is criminal threat, which I'm going to be honest with you, it totally was. This dude was like talking about how he was going to like chop up and rape this chick and whatnot. And like, he also was throwing around the hard R a lot, being a one himself. I mean, he's like fucking dude. I'm like, yeah, and I'm just like, bro, there's just so much in. Anyways, so we get there, and the dude sitting next to me, we start talking, and we're everybody's pretty much we're figuring out that everybody's like in agreement that this happened. We're answering some questions. We get to this juror, and he's like, I don't believe her. Like, I don't believe her. And I'm just like, what do you mean you don't believe her? Oh my
God.
And he's like, yeah, I just, I work with a lot of Indian dudes and they don't speak like that. And I'm like, sir, that's what we like to call a bias. Like, you're supposed to check that at the door, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's, oh my gosh. So, from there, Ken stepping away for a second. So from there, we're like, so from there, I freaking turn around and I'm like, okay, we're trying to explain to the dude, like, listen, man, you can't have these biases. Like, what is there? Like, let's work through it. And he's like, nah, it's just like I've worked with them. Like, they don't speak like this. They don't talk like that. And I'm like, bro, you're literally sitting next to an Indian right next to you. And he was even sitting there. He's like, bro, he's like, I work with Indians. They do talk like this. Like, and I'm just like, bro, you're like, they literally asked you point blank, do you have like any biases for like race, religion, creed, like somebody fucking lied, dude. And then we continue on. And it gets down to like, okay, well, why don't you believe her? And he was like, well, I think she was faking her tears because she cried on the stand when we actually had to take a break and everything. And I was like, okay, so why don't you believe her? It's like, I don't believe, he was like, I don't believe that she was scared. I think that was all fake. And I'm like, okay, well, why do you not think she's afraid? Why do you think it's fake? Like, I understand you don't think it's real. But what is it like that she said or done that makes you believe it's fake? And he's like, girls with them tattoos, man. Like, I've known girls like that. And those aren't scared tattoos. And I'm like, what does a scared tattoo look like? I'm like, what? I'm like, sir, we were asked if we had any biases against tattoos, and you said no. I was heated.
Bro lied. He's just trying to be contrarian. He's not. He's like, he woke up that day. He's like, nah. I don't know what you guys talking about.
No, it was 11-1, but what it was is that he didn't understand like the separation between what reasonable doubt was and just doubt, right? Because he kept on talking about like doubts that he had. He's like, well, how do we know it, it started the way she said it started? And it's like, we don't know that, but that's not reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is she told us one story, the defense had the opportunity to tell a different story, and they didn't. So there's no reason to doubt her story because we don't have any other story. We don't have anything contrarian to her story. And so we were trying to explain.
Both sides are corroborating the same version of the story. It is your job to decide whether or not she did something or not, or whether or not how it began.
Mm-hmm.
His job is not to decide how it started. It's how it ended, and it's what the person on the stand said, and how it's interpreted, like all that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so he thought like, oh, well, we don't know how it started, and it's like, okay, we understand that, but that's not reasonable doubt. Like, it doesn't matter how it started, it doesn't matter how it ended. It just matters, do you believe that he said these things, yes or no? Because that's all that matters. And if you don't believe that he said these things, then we're wasting our time. We eventually got
jury. We need to just go home and talk to jury.
Yeah, so we eventually got him to understand on the second day, like all the points we were making, and he's like, I agree with you guys. I just I guess he just had to kind of understand that, like bridge that gap, because again, like he was conflating doubt in general with reasonable doubt. And for anybody who doesn't know, so in a criminal case, in a criminal justice system, in a criminal case, there's what's called reasonable doubt, beyond reasonable doubt, which means that based off the evidence provided or counter evidence, I guess I should say, provided to whichever narrative, is there enough evidence from either the defense or the prosecution to make you not believe fucking hell. Is there enough evidence or do you believe the prosecution's story more than you believe the freaking defense's, is pretty much how to boil it down. Because if you believe them more and the defense doesn't put up enough evidence or information or character witnesses, whatever it may be, to make you doubt the prosecution, then that's what's called reasonable doubt. They gave enough information that you can reasonably doubt what the prosecution's story is. And on here, it was like there was no reasonable doubt. They had two people come up and testify to the same damn story. And then the defense was like, just remember, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. We don't have to prove anything. And then they just sat down, and I'm like, well, you kind of screwed your client, bro. Like, I got a little tiny $120 soaking wet chick crying on the stand, plus her like 5'3" mom talking about like all like they were very credible. Yeah, it was very credible, and it's like that's kind of how you know a person doesn't have anything, because no lawyer is gonna have. I'm not gonna say no lawyer, but most lawyers that are good aren't gonna have something that can prove their client innocent, or at least throw doubt on the prosecution story and not use it. So plus they also did a lot of dumb things that made me turn around and be like, nah, I believe her story more, because they were trying to say that the lawyer's opening statement stated that the argument started because the girl's dog jumped at him. And it's like they just kind of tried hammering that home and just kept on asking like, oh, so the dog needed to be in a harness because she couldn't control it. And the mom's like, no. It's like, oh, well, this is the big dog. And they just kept on going for the dog. And I'm like, dude,
leave the dog out of this, man.
Well, I'm just like, this is dumb. Like, you're not gonna get a yes. You're not, like, you're trying to throw doubt. I understand, but there's so many things that you need to like first take into account, which is like, county laws, there's county leash laws, there's also state leash laws, there's city and town leash laws, you know? And not only that, but like the bigger the dog, I mean, it doesn't really matter the size, but definitely the bigger the dog, the bigger thing you're going to want. You don't want a freaking collar because that's going to choke them. You want a harness because, I mean, you want a harness with any dog, but especially a big one. And this was a Doberman. Like, it was a puppy still, but it was going to eventually grow up. So it's like knowing that stuff about the dogs just made me like not like the defense more. But it's like where the prosecution lacked, because he was not a very confident man. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He is so lucky that his two witnesses were very credible. Otherwise, I would have just been like, why should I like believe you when it doesn't even sound like you believe yourself? So so what he lacked in confidence, the defense definitely made up for it, but they just didn't have a story to run with. So it just, yeah. But this is why nobody likes jury duty, man. You might get hung up on one motherfucker. One dude who just doesn't know, and it's like, god damn it. At least I was only gone.
Never had jury duty.
Oh, you're lucky. I mean, you typically, depending on the job, you typically get paid for it. But yeah, it's not bad. It's depending on the case, though, of course, right? Because you could get some like, I don't know, tax fraud case, and you're just looking and listening to numbers all fucking day.
Oh, dude, I'd fall asleep. That's my biggest thing. Is like I'd fall asleep on the stand, and they'd be looking at me. I'd get in so much trouble.
Yeah, it's like falling asleep at church.
I don't even know what happens, dude. I don't even know what happens if you fall asleep when you're a juror. Like, do they kick you out? Do they find another jury? Like, I don't get it.
Probably will be like, oh, can you stay awake, or do you need like a minute or something to compose yourself, etc., etc.
Knowing my luck, I'd get the craziest bailiff in the county, and he'd come at me with a taser and be like, "I'll wake you up. I'll wake you up, boy."
You could always do what we did and just keep some hand sanitizer and then put it in your hands and smell it.
That, ironically enough, that works. And
yeah, I know it works.
How I know that works? Well, yeah, I know you probably know, but I know it works because my fiance, when she was giving birth, her aunt, my fiance, for whatever reason, she is like one of like 10% of people who during birth like have these out of body experiences where they kind of like pass out almost. It's not supposed to happen, but to keep her coherent so that way she could get through the whole process without having, needing more help than normal. Her aunt was like, "Don't you have alcohol wipes?" And they're like, "Yeah." So she busted one of those open and she waved it in front of her nose as like a smelling salt, and it snapped her back. So it works. Like, I don't know how it worked, and I don't know how she knew that would work, but it worked.
No, that makes sense. It makes sense. What's up, Ken? What the fuck did you say? Hey.
I said, you know what else works?
What? I didn't even hear that, but yeah. I know you got noise cancellation on that.
Somebody slapping the absolute shit out of you. Yeah, that'll work too.
Especially with hands. Like,
have you ever served jury duty before, Ken?
I'm not eligible.
That is true. You lucky son of a bitch.
I told you, bro.
I know.
Some more than Ken lore.
Hey, bro, listen. If you catch a felony, you never got to worry about it.
I know. I gotta go catch a couple. Oh man. I don't know. I know that it's everyone's like civic duty to do, but at the same time, man, you do gotta.
Everybody's civic duty, but nobody
it's supposed to be everyone's civic duty. Nobody wants to do it, but at the same time, it's like some of these juries, right? Because the one thing is like, oh, you're judged by a jury of your peers, but you're not really. They pretty much, what they mean is that you're judged by a group of the same individuals within your age range. Because if you really were judged by like a group of your peers, then like if you were just let's say you're some like tech mobile or something, right? And it's like tax evasion or whatever. There's nobody, like, how many people up there in the damn jury is going to understand freaking taxes and like offshore accounts and Cayman Island? Like, how many people are going to be able to follow numbers like that?
Not very many. And here's what I say, bro. I enlisted in the military. I deployed and I did all that. I did my civic duty.
It's like, I don't need to do nothing.
100%.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, yeah. The good thing though is that it's like once you do serve, you don't have to serve again for like another 5 years or some shit.
Oh yeah, jury duty. Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Actually, so I'm eligible in 4 years. I will have it off of my record.
Oh,
So
you got to
maybe
do another one. You got to get another one, man. Let you
nah, I'm
get out
done,
of
bro.
jail free or get out of jury duty free card. Go to jail.
Pick your pick.
You know what's funny is that I get the same amount
Jail.
of
Jury duty.
I get the same amount of time off for bereavement as I do jury duty. So it's like either I get called for jury duty and I get 3 days off, or someone in my family dies and I get 3 days off.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. I mean, that's more than I need, but sure.
Isn't that
But
strange
still,
that companies
funny.
equate those to be the same thing? Civic duty, 3 days. Death of a family member, also 3 days. Get your shit figured out, boy.
Yeah, pretty much. And if you can't gather yourself, you got your so here's the other thing. I had a coworker go on workers comp, or was gonna go on workers comp because he like got hurt on the job or whatever, and they like apparently the job I work for, I'm pretty sure it's other jobs are the same way, but it never like doesn't make sense to me, is like it'll take your vacation time first and then extra time, but it's like, shouldn't it be the other way around? Because it's like if you use all your sick time. Think about it like this, right? If you use all your sick time, then you have to use vacation time because it's over your sick time allowed, right? So if you have let's say if you have vacation time and then you have workers comp, right? Workers comp isn't going to be freaking like multiple weeks, right? Or I mean, I doubt it would be multiple weeks depending.
That's why they have short-term disability laws.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That carries, I think it's like 90 days. You can get short-term disability for 90 days if you get it, and then you get back paid from the date of the injury.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying though. Is just like if you break your toe or something, they generally will tell you how like approximately how long it's going to take to heal, right? Like X amount of time. Same thing that happened with my wrist. And I don't think that workers comp is going to be anywhere in the like multiple months. So it would make more sense to be like, hey, we'll give you like a week or two of workers comp and then you can use your vacation. Because if you use so then it's like, okay, well, if I use my 2 to 4 weeks of vacation and then my workers comp is just a day, or is it infinite after that point? Like, and it's like, then it's at that point, it's like, why did I even go through the
company. Also,
True.
state laws are different.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Most companies are going to try to like game the system and be like, hey, you're going to use your vacation days. Like you're not going to, just because you get workers comp doesn't mean we're going to like this and we're going to make this easy on you. And there's things that you sign when you sign up for a company that explicitly will say, like, if you get injured on the job, we're going to use this first, or we're going to use your PTO, or you're going to that's the devil in the details. So like if I were to tell like a new person going into the workforce, I'd tell people all the time, check your contract. Whenever you're getting hired on, double check your contract, make sure they're not screwing you over. If you are signing up with somebody saying like, hey, you're gonna work this amount of days a week, make sure you got that shit in writing because they will fuck you over. Especially these big box companies like Walmart, Kroger, they will fuck you over. You'll say that you need to work evenings and you need to work from like 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and you're still gonna have motherfuckers, unless you have a contract, that try to put you at 5 o'clock in the morning and your opening shift. It just
that depends on local leadership, bro. That's not really.
Well, it also isn't. Yeah, there's also not like, because there's certain places that specifically have like night shift is your role. Like they have first shift, second shift, and third shift.
Yeah.
Right. Like whereas like if you're just working at a McDonald's or something, or like a Walmart, they're like, okay, I can schedule you for tomorrow at 10, and then Thursday I can schedule you from like 3 to 12 or something like that. Like it's the schedule's made that week, rather than it like, this is your job, your hours are from midnight to 7 every single day until you put in for a transfer to something else.
That's one thing I'll give Best Buy. So as many of y'all know, I worked for them for a while, and they have part-time availability standards and they have full-time availability standards. part-time availability standards is mainly you have to be available for the weekend. Then you have to be available for so many, like either morning shift or night shift. When
Mhm.
they say night shift, it's like 3 to close, which is like 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or whatever. And so when I first got hired on, I was like, listen, I can work Monday through Thursday, 4 to close. That is it. I'm not working the weekends. So the manager actually put it in the system that I'm not available Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of people hated that. That found out. Didn't tell a lot of people. It took a year and a half for HR to finally catch up and say, "Hey, you have to make sure he's in the availability standards, or else he's going to be let go because of that arbitration or whatever." So
Mm.
he was like, "Look, I have to make you available, but I'm not going to schedule you." I got to give him that. They never scheduled me on weekends. I did not work one weekend for like 2-3 years until I went full time or whatever. And then
It's
when it comes to workers' comp, the way they do it is if you get hurt, you go to the doctor or urgent care or whatever, and then they kinda go from there. They give you,
Right.
like you need to be out of work, like, 1 or 2 days. If it goes past 14 days, at that point, workers' comp takes over, and you're paid until the doctor releases you, all the way through. But for that
I
first
figured that's the way it was, like, right? Like it takes over until you have to go for like disability or
yeah,
something. But
but,
it
like,
is
the first 14 days, you have to use your time off to cover, and then after that, workers' comp picks it up and carries you the rest, and then short-term disability laws kick in and all that other
right.
shit.
And I get it. I get it because right, it's like, well, in one on one hand it's like, well, if you have like 2 weeks of vacation, maybe you just need to rest for 2 weeks, and it's like, true, but hey, guess what, maybe you should be the one paying for that instead of me. Why am I having to use my vacation, my accrued
yeah,
vacation? Are you
yeah.
gonna
I
pay
don't
me
like that.
back? Are you gonna give me it back? Like, it doesn't, like, because it's like this
That's on the
happened on your job, on your watch, on, like, I wasn't you
but
know.
That's what I meant earlier about like the companies are like, you can get this, but we're not gonna like it. We're gonna make this. We're you're not
oh,
gonna
yeah,
like it either.
right. But to them, it's like, they're paying for all your medical bills, they're paying for the PT or whatever, like physical therapy,
They're
um,
paying for somebody to
like
cover your shift.
medication, all that shit, and then if you have any lingering injuries based on the injury you had, then they're gonna pay for that within a certain time period. Like, say
Yeah.
if you get say, like, you hurt your back and, like, a year later, the same problem kicks up, workers' comp is gonna pay for that medical bill
Well,
because you
yeah.
hurt it on the job and continued because of it.
Right. I mean, if it's a single instance, yeah, but not if it's like a over time thing, right? Like if gradually
But
your back gets worse
and
and worse.
yeah, it's like it's a certain time period that they'll pay for it.
Right, right. No, I know. I still think that it's a little dumb because it's like because like what's really gonna happen, right? Most places you have to like schedule vacation time like 2 weeks in advance or more.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like you can just be like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and be on workers comp for 2 months. Also, I want to take my vacation at this date too. So yeah, it's like they. I feel like if
I
that's the
get you.
case, then there'd be like some sort of like penalty, or you'd get fired or something. I don't
Well,
know. I don't know.
That's where FMLA laws kick in.
hmm it's just, to me, I just think it's dumb. I think that a lot of it is like,
Nah, I get it.
make a dime, make a dollar, but that the corporation.
Corporate America,
um,
folks. Corporate America.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't think I probably will ever know because I don't. I've never been on workers comp. I have only ever been in medical twice, and that was literally that was because I had pneumonia and bronchitis. So it's not like it was something small. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like, you kind of need your lungs to be a Marine. So
You
uh,
think?
yeah, yeah, and even then you don't even.
Paternity. I've had to use paternity for both my children, for two different companies, and both of them did the same thing. They take your vacation days. They take any outstanding PTO. They fuck you completely. Like when you're done being a parent, a new parent for this
Mhm.
child, you can't fuck up, otherwise you're fucked. Because like, one, they don't like it. They want to fire you. They like, you know how much frustration you can receive just by saying, okay, my baby's being born, I gotta go. like the companies just like hate that shit. Like for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason they
Yeah,
like
most
like
companies don't
and, may,
want you to have a kid.
and maybe it's just my area. But in my area, I had people who were just not really considerate, and they would work with me on the brass tacks, but they weren't. They didn't give me any leeway. It was
Right.
literally take your PTO, take your vacation. After that, if you need time off, it's unpaid, and you're probably gonna get fired for it.
You want to know how woke Best Buy is?
Do they give you
I'm
more
afraid.
time depending on the gender?
I'm afraid.
Bro.
I'm afraid.
Bro. So they have something called like maternity leave and paternity leave, right?
Right, male and
And-
Oh yeah,
female.
no, that's yeah.
All right,
Walmart. Yeah,
all right,
Walmart
all
and Verizon both have that.
Check this out. So paternity leave is 6 weeks. You get 6 weeks 100% paid.
Hmm.
After that, they have something called caretaker, where you have to take care of somebody. That is another 2 weeks that you can do that. You can be extended to 4 weeks with the doctor's note. Right. After that, you can so we're up to like 8 weeks now. At that point, you can take what's called a well-being sabbatical. That's the word for it. You can call your boss and say, "Hey, I need a well-being sabbatical because my mental health is going bad." So, if your mental health is that fucked up, you can have 2 weeks off paid. And then they will pay for therapy.
Hey,
Right? Pay for
hey,
therapy.
I mean,
Hey.
yeah.
8 visits.
damn.
They will pay for 8 visits of therapy.
Well, no
Go work
company
for
wants
Best
to be
Buy.
labeled as like denied somebody their mental health, and then they
Bro,
go postal.
This is some woke shit. They're breeding bitches. Right.
Dude,
I don't know.
Walmart
I mean,
and Verizon,
having a mental
Verizon
health
both
day.
said,
Hold on. I'm not done.
All right.
oh,
On top of that, right? You can take the PTO that you have because they give you a certain amount of PTO at the beginning of your yearly. You're there for once your 1 year hits, you get PTO or whatever the fuck, right? So you can take that and you can do what's called purchased PTO. Purchased PTO is you can buy up to 40 more hours a year, right? So once you have that, any other time off you need is covered under protected time. And there's certain events that are considered protected time. And you can take as much as you want. As much as you want. You could be gone for a year and they can't touch you.
I mean,
Because-
sabbaticals.
what is considered protected time?
So if a new child and the child, like, God forbid, knock on wood, your child has health issues and you have to deal with it, right? That's protected time. Let's say your spouse, I'm gonna say your wife gives birth and she has issues. That's protected time.
Complications.
Complications, yeah.
I mean, those are all fair.
Yeah.
Like, and then like let's say like if something like some like act of God happens and like property's destroyed, you got to deal with. That's protected time. There's a lot of different things.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of different things that are considered protected time that they can't touch you with, but it's just they just give so much shit and ability for people to just call their boss and say, "Hey, I need time off." Like, fuck you, I gotta go. And yeah, it's good, but at the same time, they're going a little
everybody else.
They're going a little overboard because you're fucking everybody else.
I feel like you wouldn't be able to get all of that back to back, but it's like at the same time,
I've seen it. You can.
That's fair.
This motherfucker was gone 6 months, fully paid.
Oh, that's awful.
Sounds like a good
That's awful.
time. No, that sounds like a good time. No, I feel like sabbaticals are something that should be like reserved for like, what's the word
Tenure.
for like management or higher. Like it doesn't make sense for a regular
employee.
On the team, we called it "Don't be a bitch" leave.
A sabbatical makes sense for like managers and stuff that that make or that aren't hourly. So anything that they do overtime, they're not getting paid for. Whereas like obviously hourly people do. Plus, it's like I'm totally down with mental health days or mental health breaks. I totally think that I think you should get at least one per month. Because sometimes there are days where it's like, especially depending on what you do, right? Like if you're in customer service, and you're just like having a terrible fucking day. You never know, bro. It only takes that
Yeah,
one day, dude. It only takes that
but
one day.
there's also been times where, like, going to work was an outlet, and it got my
Hmm.
mind off shit. It
Yeah,
helped.
well, of
For
course,
that
but
was for me.
you wouldn't use it then. But
When I
yeah,
worked when I
yeah.
worked at Verizon and when I worked at Verizon and Cricket, as much as like I love my family, like they were like I I treated them as like homes away from home because I enjoyed my job.
Hmm.
So for me, like like selling phones and being in that space and like working with customers, like it was like a secondary home. So it felt comfortable. So it was kind of like an outlet, kind of like Ken says. But there was days where I'm like, I really don't want to be here. I'm either under the weather, don't feel very well, or mentally I'm just like, I'd rather be anywhere else than here.
I I usually got a lot of shit because I never hung out with the people I worked with. Like,
Yeah,
never, bro.
I dude,
Never.
I get that. Like there's
And I was like, "Listen, I'll talk to you all day long, but
Mhm.
I'm con but what I am, I'm pay-per-view. You're pay If I'm paid, you'll see me. If I'm not being paid, you ain't gonna see me." That's just how it is. I didn't blend my personal life and my work life. Never did.
That's kind of how it is with
Yeah,
me.
we some
Like
bullshit, bro.
I'm
We
getting
some bullshit.
a lot of my coworkers are like, "Oh, you're not gonna do this." Like we got a new guy, a new field tech manager, and he's been trying to talk me into like getting doing this like test because I guess like you regardless like you have to pass this test and then they fly you out for 3 days to see if you end up getting like some stupid ass award or some shit. I don't know, some gay ass
Congrats.
shit. Nah, fuck all that.
Congrats.
And so
Don't be a bitch.
he was like, "Oh, well, maybe do you want to go and like give this a shot?" Blah blah blah. It was sounding good because the way he made it sound is like, "Okay, if you win this, you get 3 days off, right?" And I like three
Ooh,
day paid off, and I was like, "Okay, cool." But what he meant is like, if you pass this test, then you go to this award ceremony thing that
That's your
lasts
three
for
days.
3 days. Yeah, and
That's your 3 days.
I'm like, nah, dude. It's like, and then I was asking questions. I'm like, are you like allowed to leave? Because like, I'm not doing it. And he's like, oh yeah, well, you could also do like, they have like these tours and stuff. And I was just like, nah, bro. That's just not me, dude. And last year I went to or the last like event we did, it was on company time, so we got paid for it. We went to have it, I think it was like a quarterly wrap up or the half wrap up or something like that. And we did indoor racing, right? And so they're doing it this year for the Christmas party, but instead of it being on a weekday, it's on the weekend. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going because it's a weekend, bro. You think I'm not giving up a
My
weekend?
time. It's my time.
And especially when I'm
right.
having like well, the place is located like an hour away from my house, bro. You're out your mind. And they're like, yeah, but that's why they like, they'll pay for the hotel and everything. And I'm like, yeah, but I still have to drive
It ain't
an
worth
hour back.
it ain't worth it. Not to me. Honestly, if it was an hour, bro, I'm going home because I wanna sleep in my bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not worth going out there. And on top of it too, it's like instead of making money this time, I'm spending money. I don't want to. Well, I guess I wouldn't be spending any money because I would still be driving like the company vehicle and
Break
all
even.
that. But it's
You'll
like,
probably break
what? It's like on one hand, I'm making money. On this hand, I'm not making any money, and I'm having to give up half of my days off. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. No.
That's one thing I didn't understand, right? Like, I know, like, companies, they like to, like, do shit, and they fucking like to do extracurricular, like, whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a fan of that, and Imma tell y'all a story. This is a story. There there was an instance where the manager wanted to bring my team breakfast, right? So, he called everybody, and he said, "Hey, I'm bringing you guys breakfast. What do you want?" I declined. I was like, "I don't want your breakfast." He was like, "Why not?" I'm like, "I just don't want it. It's not gonna do anything for me." And he was like, "Well, my boss told me to get you food. So what do you want?" I was like, "I damn sure don't want anything now." There was a whole fucking debate I had with the entire it was 1v like 6. And I was like, it wasn't genuine and it wasn't from the heart.
He got told. He got
The
told.
man said, I was told to bring you breakfast. What do you want? So to prove a point, I bought all of them breakfast. And I didn't say a fucking word, bro. I just showed up. I was like,
Ken's over here like, nah, you need to ask me, talk to me sweetly.
No, it's not even that, bro. Just show up with it. Just show up with it. Be like, hey guys, here. Thanks for all the work you do. This is. I'd be like, damn, that's awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but you also don't want to get somebody that they're not gonna like want. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, here's the thing.
It's the
I was
gesture.
in the Army. You was in the Marines. We can eat just about any fucking thing.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Fair. If you can handle MRE, I think you can eat anything.
But here's the thing, though. It's the gesture, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you know, I may hate bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, right? May hate them, but I'll eat it because of the gesture, right? The heart was there, the intent was there, right? And I even had that argument with him. Well, you know, he doesn't know what you want. I'm like, but he didn't have to say my boss told me to do it. When he said those words, like, bro, fuck you. You're just doing this because you're told to do it. Fuck you.
When I managed a cricket store, I did that all the time. I would not ask, but like there's a Casey's I pass on my way to work. I would stop there, probably get gas, get myself like a bite to eat, some breakfast or a soda, and I would see like a 6-pack of cookies. They're just basic sugar cookies with frosting on them, and like it wouldn't matter the color, wouldn't matter the theming, it wouldn't matter. Like I'd be like every now and again I'd just buy them, and I'd buy them, I'd set them up for my customers, and it was just like, what are these for? No reason. Appreciation for being my customer.
I get that. Like, so it's one. See, I thought you were going down a different road with it, Ken. And you're like, you know, I hate when. No, I thought you were going down a different road because you were like, I hate when they like do these company get-togethers, and then you go on to a story. I know, but then you go on to a story about a dude buying you like breakfast. I thought you were talking about like freaking like trust retreats and like freaking like get-togethers and dinners. And
don't do that. They don't do that. I'm petty. I'm a petty.
Oh, I don't do any of that either. But that's where I thought you were going down. Yeah. I thought that's the road you were going down. Not freaking this guy. This guy told me he was told to get breakfast.
The minimum level, a very, very minimum level of petty. Very minimum. Like, bitch, I don't want your biscuit. Take it and throw it in the fucking road. Fuck you, bro.
As soon as he heard my boss made me do this, he's like, "Nope, fuck you, I'm done. Close the book, put the fries in the bag, get out of here. I don't want none of your shit. Don't matter what you bring me. You can bring me the $1 million lottery ticket. I still don't want it."
Hold on,
I want your most favorite thing on their fucking menu, and I'm gonna fucking throw it on the ground and stomp on it.
You keep cutting out a bit, Ken. I don't know what it is.
My bad.
No, you're good. No, yeah, I think it's like I think it's just your settings on your mic, maybe.
So when I showed up and I just had it, and I was like, "Hey guys, it's because I love y'all. I appreciate you." Just smiles and the appreciation was mad because they were surprised.
Or the fact that they're laughing at the fact that you brought just to prove a point.
This is what I said. I said, "Now, do you understand my argument?"
Pretty sure they were just happy because they got food 2 days in a row.
It's true.
It wasn't in a row. Bro, this shit was like 3 months later.
I hear you.
I'm petty. I am petty. I
planned 3 months to plan revenge.
3 months, bro. That is some petty shit right there. That's some petty shit.
I wanted them to forget. I wanted them to forget.
I mean that.
And then you know what they said?
Kids out here, he's planning this shit.
I understand what you mean now. I said, thank you. All of you eat my dick.
That's what he served him. That's what he served him.
You know what I did?
I thought you were going to go with that.
I didn't even eat one. They're like, where's your food? I'm like, I don't want no food. I want you guys to enjoy it because I want you to feel appreciated.
Ken's over here like, you gotta sprinkle it with love, bro. Supercalifragilistic, man. You gotta sprinkle it with love.
Okay. Hold on. If you did it to prove a point, is that really genuine and out of love?
Out of spite, and I think I can respect that more.
You want to know why? Because they felt it. For a split second, they felt it.
For a split second, that love that was in their heart. They loved it for a second. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's just proving a point." Fuck.
That's Ken's autobiography. For a split second, they felt it.
Hey, that's when my wife married me. But I'm just saying, bro.
I don't know what you can possibly mean. For a split second, she felt it. Who knows? I have no idea.
Well, I got to read the book. But I'm just saying, bro, $65 lesson they learned.
Yeah, you're 65.
Jesus Christ.
No,
I get you, but I was thinking you were going more with the like, oh, we should all get together, we should all have this company. Like I don't do any of that stuff either. I'm like, nah, bro, because there sometimes, especially with the way they do it too, because like another thing in my that my company does is they'll be like, oh, okay, who do you guys think is tech of the year? And then I like was talking to I was talking to my coworker and I was like, how do you like what are we voting on? They're like, yeah, just vote on one of the names. And it's like, we're just given these names and we just vote who we want. It's like a participation trophy. That's basically what this is. And he was like, yeah. Like you just pick on.
There's no stats involved in this.
There's literally not.
It's not how long he was on the job versus how many award, like how many appreciation scores surveys done. Like, come on, it's nothing like that. That's
so I told him, I was like, you better never fucking vote for me. I was like, I'll never vote. You could vote for yourself, but I'm like, don't you ever vote for me. See, because even when we have stuff like that. Yeah,
vote for me if there's proof behind the pudding. I want it to be worth it. I don't want it because I win a popularity contest.
Exactly.
Look, getting back to the breakfast thing, I got one more point to make.
Yeah, okay. Really let's hope your mic doesn't cut out.
Final thing. This is the final thing. My mother raised me to not take free handouts from people. Right?
Not take free handouts.
The moment you start taking free handouts, they control you. And they think they can control you because you obsess over something for free. She's like, don't ever do it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want handouts. That's true.
No. I'm saying whenever they like have like food or like events, I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. If I want to go to this place, I'll go myself and pay for the admission. If I wanted a slice of pizza, I'll go to the store and get my own slice of pizza if I really wanted it. It kind of skewed my thinking a little bit, and I understand why people do it, and I understand why the gesture is there.
Right.
But again, I never want to be that dude. Like, damn, we saw Ken in line getting some free shit. Just like we saw everybody else. I do not want my name in that line.
But at the same time, though, it's like I feel that way outside of corporation. But if if my job if I got into work tomorrow and they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay for your lunch, I was like, all right, cool. But if I was like hanging out with a friend and they're like, oh yeah, I'll pay for lunch, I'm like, all right, cool, I'll get you on the next one. Or it's like if I know I couldn't pay for lunch or anything, I'd be like, no, I'm good. Like I would much rather not accept your generosity if I can't give it back. Obviously, I could definitely give it but on the other hand, the company is like, all we're gonna do is like, pay my money. I don't know, you fuckers. I don't give a shit.
Look,
I think sometimes it's not that deep. I get what you're saying, Ken, but I think sometimes whenever
that's the end of the relationship. That's how I feel.
Yeah, you're gonna have to repeat that one because I think it's your noise gate or something.
Is this better?
Yeah.
All right, what I said was, I'm an employee. You pay me to do a job. That's the end of the relationship.
Yeah, but you could still do something nice. Like I've bought, the new guys that I was training, I bought like the first time that we had lunch together, or the first time that we ever like stopped or anything. If they wanted something, I'd ask, and then we would like trade back and forth, or I'd like pay for lunch or something.
They bought me lunch first day because they better be thankful they're with me.
Yeah, they weren't thankful. I'm pretty sure that was the reason they ended up quitting.
Listen,
the first one I definitely was.
All I'm learning today is that if we ever do like a after show meetup, don't try to buy Ken lunch. Don't try to buy Ken lunch. Just don't. Like, he will tell you no, and you could have a line of 12 people behind you say, "I got you, Ken." He's gonna look at you like, "No." and you're gonna have to live with that shame.
You want to know why?
Don't buy Ken lunch. Don't buy Ken lunch.
I don't want anybody to have anything on me. Like, remember that time I did this for you? I never want anybody to have that on me.
But see, it only works if it's something big, right? Like, what if somebody would be like, bro, I need you to hide the body, remember?
Listen. My friendship language is just buying food. I don't know why it is, but like you want a meal, I got your tab. Like, I just pay for that shit.
They can only hold something over you if you let them, bro. Because it's like buying somebody a damn quarter pounder isn't the same as like loading someone 10 grand.
It's the attempt.
Yeah, but fuck them. At that point, 2 middle fingers in a cloud of dust. Fuck them.
Exactly. Fuck you.
That's like the person. I don't want that to even be a thing.
Nah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I'll put it to you like this. This is how petty I am. So let's say like if me and my brother-in-law like we go have his own like dinner or some shit, right? I will literally go in the calculator, divide it by 2.
That's not pettiness though.
No. If I have to round, I always round up.
Oh yeah.
Well, yes. Oh, I got you. You're trying to get the last cent on the dollar. You're trying to get the higher cent.
1165 bit, 1165 bitch, 1166. and then I send a screenshot.
I think it just depends. Yeah, I don't know. It's for
Bro,
me,
I'm gonna get
depends, man.
I'm gonna buy Ken lunch, or we're gonna get lunch, and we're gonna split it. I'm gonna get a screenshot in 10 minutes, and I'm gonna be like, dude,
it's not that important.
I'm gonna just like turn and look at him like, no, stop.
There it is.
With me, I don't care.
There it is.
I don't know.
I'm weird like that, man. I'm weird like that. I just don't want anybody ever to say, look, I did this for you. Now you got to do this for me.
I get it. I'm laughing, but I get it.
It's quick pro quo, but see, I'm more okay with it for favors than I am for like money, because it's like if somebody if you have a skill, right, and somebody's like, oh, I need to put up a fence, and you're like, yeah, sure, like I'll do it for you, just like provide the food, the nutrients, and the tunes and all that, and like maybe a little extra, maybe some like small money, a little constant materials, and then maybe a little extra, but it's like. Or you could just like trade somebody a favor for it, because it's like, hey, I'll do this for you in the future, maybe you want to do this, and because like bargaining is totally something that I don't know, it's just like a staple point for me.
Bargaining is different because the agreement's made of upfront.
Yes, but see, there's also like times where you develop that like friendship for people, where it's like you just do this for this person. It's like, oh, I need help with this. It's like, cool, okay, well then like here, like do this, and then I'll do that. Or it's like, I don't know.
I hate gifts, bro. I hate gifts.
See, I hate gifts only because it's like most of the time people don't know what I like. I'd rather just get money.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'd rather see a $20 bill than a gift card to some random store you think I want to go to.
Yeah.
I get that, but what I'm saying is like, like let's say you get something from somebody and then they get something for you. There's that lapse in monetary value. You know what I mean?
That too. Well, and then the other thing too is like if somebody gives you a gift, but you end up like, because somebody can give you a monetary value, like a gift, right? They can buy you a phone or something, and then but you could take them out like on a date to go see all these things. Like you're paying for all of these things that don't last as long as like a physical gift.
Value is perceived.
Right. But what I'm saying is, it's like that's the other thing, because it's like if somebody gets you like a brand new phone, and then but you take them out on like a really nice dinner, a date, you're paying for everything. It's like one person is like, oh yeah, this was my gift. That gift was fleeting. This gift is for a couple of years, right? So that's the other time when it's like it is, right? Because you can't go back there and be like, it's like, it's like you can't go back there and be like, hey, I paid for this movie yesterday. Can I watch it again?
What I would do, I'd keep a fucking tally in the car. I'd write the monetary value, everything I buy for them. I'd deduct it.
Oh man!
Start putting it in the jar.
We're down to $1.22. Here goes $1. Dime, penny, penny. Now we're even bit.
That's so dumb, dude. That's one of the reasons why I don't like that. Like I hate keeping score in a relationship or keeping tally or anything like that. But another thing, gift cards are so stupid. Gift cards are so dumb because it's like there becomes a certain point in time where you can't buy anything with it based off of the money that's in there. And no matter how many times you reload it, unless you like reload it to an exact number, you can never make it 0. So there's always just money on there unless you like sell it and pull it off. So it's like it's just added. It's a debit card with added steps. It's like might as well just give me the damn 20.
Nah, bro, cashier's checks for everybody.
Dude, if I ever get a check for a gift, I'm just gonna assume like I'm gonna assume that they just like killed the.
It went through the fucking steps to walk into the bank and say, I need a cashier's check for Kmplxity.
Hold on. Let me go get you my grandfather's version of a gift. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So
exactly.
I don't think
you guys are gonna love this.
I don't think
now it's fucking like not like Venmo or Cash App, like on the day, right? It's like, here, there's your gift. Fuck you.
But that's what I'm saying, right? It's like, here's a check. It's like, okay, by the time I cash this, I'm just assuming that the person already called they're like already called their bank. Is like, hey, cancel any going out checks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got the last laugh.
Yeah.
This is how my grandfather has always given his. Ever since my grandmother passed away, bless her heart. Ever since she passed away, this is how my grandfather likes to dole out his holiday and or Thanksgiving or
like
birthdays or anything like that.
Can't
it
see
is shit. A can't see.
Put your hand. Put your hand like this. Put your hand like that. There. No, above it. Above. Pull it back. There you go.
There it is. There it is.
There it
happy
is.
Birthday card.
It's a silver dollar. Nope, silver dollar. Or it's a silver. It's a silver ounce. It's an ounce of silver in a coin form. I have probably 5 to 6 or 7 of these damn things. The only way I can ever cash in on this is if I take it back to where it came from. Or
the coin or the card?
The coin is you're meant. His whole idea is for you. It's essentially $20. But you have to take it to a pawn shop. You have to either take it to a pawn shop or a jeweler that buys silver for money on the ounce, and you have to purchase it. And it's not going to be an exact $20.
Right.
It may be $24. It may be $19.40. It goes up and down. So this could be worth. If the silver market crashes, I could have $50 coins just laying around, but I wouldn't know because guess what? I don't even know where half of them are.
Well, if it crashes, you would have just coins lying around. You just have silver. Well, you could kill some werewolves.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But I will be if the silver market crashes. You're gonna call me. And you're gonna be like, hey, what are you doing? I'm gonna be like, I'm getting trailers. None of these fucking things.
I think you mean if the gold market crashes, the silver needs to go up for your silver dollars to be more. More. But I thought because you had your camera off, and right before you were talking about like your grandfather and how he gives gifts, and then you were talking about your grandmother being dead. I don't know why, but I thought he like was adding some of her ashes with every gift.
Oh no, that'd be so terrible. That'd be so terrible. Bless her heart. No,
but it was like handing out like freaking just like sprinkle a little bit of grandma on this one.
Rolling a blunt, sprinkle some grandma.
Oh my god!
This is from me and grandma. Just grandma's giving you a kiss. Just
chalky white.
Jesus Christ! You guys are awful.
All right, I think that's.
I think that's a good time. Yeah.
Catch us next time for whatever.
Whatever.
I have no idea what we're gonna call this episode. I have
I
no
think it's
idea where
just-
the title's gonna be.
I don't know. I think we're just chatting, but we're coming back, you guys. We enjoyed the Thanksgiving break, which I think everybody needed it. I know we didn't put anything out yesterday, and we didn't go live or anything, but it's like, well, there's sometimes you just get so, especially at the end of the year, you just get so bombarded with a bunch of bullshit sometimes that you just need the time off.
My wife has had been so fucking busy swapping decorations, fucking clean the garage.
I hate changing out the decorations.
Yeah,
my fiance wants me to wrap fucking Christmas lights all the way around this fucking living room of ours, and I'm just like, I no, please don't make me, please.
But hopefully some cooking with Ken will be happening.
Yes, we are working on that. We're working on that. You guys have a good rest of whatever time you're listening to this. Later.